Hi, friends and family. To those that do follow me, I wanted to speak on the case of Cassie Stubborn. That is the young lady that died by the hands of two of her supposedly friends watching her family's home. It is a very sad story, and I can't believe that they actually used the Scream movie to inspire them, and also the killings of the two boys that went into their school and shot their school up. It's sad to say, in my opinion, just my opinion, that if her boyfriend never would have done what he did, then Cassie would probably still be here today. But the case is that Cassie went to her people's house because her people left out of town, which consists of her uncle, her auntie, and her cousin. They left her at the home to watch as they were going out of town. And they only asked her to stay there because she was feeding the animals that they have. They didn't want to, leave them there and not be able to feed and eat and everything. And Cassie asked permission for her boyfriend to come over. Her boyfriend came over because her family said yes. Her auntie and her uncle said yes because they knew she was a very responsible, bright young lady, down to earth, and they knew that she knew what to do if anything did occur. So they allowed it. Her boyfriend, on the other hand, when he gets there, he wants to call his two friends, and they came over. Now, what happened was after that is that when they came, they assumed that it was going to be a party, or Cassie was going to be one of those kids that don't give a damn, and she's, I don't care, we're going to mess this house up, and we're going to have fun. And it wasn't that way. So they assumed and told Cassie and her boyfriend, oh, we're leaving. We're going to go to the movies and go see a movie. We don't have to stay here and watch something that we've already seen. So apparently they're supposed to have left. 15 minutes passed, and all of a sudden the lights and stuff started going off in the house. First it went out completely, then it came halfway back on, then it went out again. Now, the second time that it went all the way out, by this time, Cassie's boyfriend had to leave because his mother did not want him to stay and spend the night with a 16-year-old, which is understandable. But what happened is that his mom suggested that Cassie leave with them, and they would just bring her back in the morning so she could still do her job as she promised to her family. But she declined, which I really wish that she would have left with him, but she didn't. And I'm not going to leave out that also, while her and her boyfriend were there and the lights went out the first time, that her dog, well, not her dog, but the dogs that she was watching, he kept going to the basement door and barking. But Cassie, being 16, and I would have did the same, did not want to go investigate, and neither did her boyfriend. So they kind of just sat there, let the house kind of maybe it'll come back on type of situation, which it did. And this one it came back on halfway. But her boyfriend had called his mom by this time, and she told him that he could not spend the night. So he had to leave Cassie in the home by herself. Not knowing that his two so-called friends never left. What they did is they went out the front door, told them that they were leaving. They went around to the back, and they opened up her back door. So they literally sat in this basement playing with this woman's family. Well, not woman, I apologize to Cassie. Young lady, beautiful young lady at that. Played with her family's electricity box and kept messing with it in the basement. They assumed that she was going to come down there to investigate, but she didn't. And they claimed that they were going to jump out, scare her, whatever the case may be. But that didn't happen. So, after her boyfriend left, she was there by herself. Then it went back out again. The lights everywhere. All of them went out. Cassie got scared, but she stayed on the couch. She never moved. They went upstairs and decided to take it to her. And these fools have made a whole tape of them talking about killing her, how this was going to be exciting, how one of them, I believe his name is Choi, is the one that said, "Oh my God, I'm coming," just feeling it, just being excited, which is a mess. But I just can't believe that this happened to this beautiful young lady. And I just wanted to say to her family, and no disrespect to no one that's involved in this case, but I really hope and pray that they never, ever get out of jail. Brian does show more remorse than Choi, and Choi has not admitted to anything. He just keeps denying it, saying that it wasn't him, it was all Brian. And Brian never really truly pointed the finger at anyone. He blamed himself. He was like, no, I did it, I'm going to accept what I've done. And Not Troy. Not Troy. And then Troy ended up having one of those mothers that, oh my God, my son didn't do anything. Halo over his head. Woman, you know your son did it. You know your son did it. Just come on, admit it. But I just came on here to do this story to say that I am so sorry to Cassie. So sorry to her family. And then the fact that when her family, her auntie and her uncle and her cousin came back home, they actually found her dead. Her little cousin did. And her little cousin was 13, by the way. So that young lady has been messed up ever since. She's tried to commit suicide. She just couldn't deal with the fact of walking in her home and finding her cousin stabbed to death like that. Cassie was stabbed over 30 times. I mean, it was just a mess. And I just couldn't believe the two teenage boys decided that they were going to do a joke on a young lady. You could actually find her story. Because I'm not, of course, I'm not going to go through it all. But I gave you the main parts of it, and it's just ridiculous. And I feel so sorry for her family, and I really, really hope and pray that Cassie rests in peace in God's arms, and she can able to rest. And I hope that those two young men never get out of jail.